You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. Welcome to a Later Than Build live show because I wanted to see what the Warner Brothers Discovery investors call would throw up, and I'm about to tell you what that is. Gabriel's in on us. Hello, Gabriel. How are you? Ronnie Dodge, hey, mate, that was interesting. Well, it didn't really throw up any big news, did it? But we're going to talk about what he did say. Hashling me, yo, Mike, John, hey, Mick, Gabriel's in on us. Isn't it late? Very late, Gabriel. Past my bedtime. But I've got some stuff to talk about, so that's why I'm here. Hope you're okay, boy. Hope you enjoyed the United match. Wasn't great, was it? Anyway, so we're here to talk about the new DC universe and what information David Zaslav has for us from the investor calls in terms of DC. Gabriel's on us. Nah, bad match, wasn't it, I'm afraid, boy? Never mind. So, what did David Zaslav throw up? Gabriel's in on us. Love Garnacho. Yes, what a goal. What a player. And Bruno saying that he would have been playing more if he wasn't being a bit of a naughty boy, but he's got a better attitude now, which is great. Ronnie Dodge, that performance from us was shocking. We was missing Anthony on the right. Yeah, it wasn't great, and Eric did change the tactics, didn't he, in the second half? I have got no idea what all that was about. So, Gabriel's in on us. What was he doing? Apparently, I don't know. I just think he was too big for his boots, a little bit arrogant. So that's why they've been holding him up back a bit. His attitude is better now. Ronnie Dodge, Maguire as a striker. What the fuck? So, right. Should we talk about DC? Should we talk about the investors' call? So what did David Zaslav have to say? Number one, in 2023, as billed at the release dates are still standing for Shazam! Fury of the Gods, the Flash movie, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So it seems to me that Zaslav really does want to get these movies out the way so we can get going. So no release date changes at this time. The 4 movies are going to be released on the scheduled dates for 2023. So that's 4 DC movies, DC Universe movies next year. And that's very, very exciting. And it's always exciting to get these movies because you don't know what they're going to throw up. You don't know what changes they've made. And so anything can happen there. He also said he's very excited about the leadership of DC Studios from James Gunn and Peter, what's his bloody name? Well, Peter. Let's just call him Peter. But basically, he's very excited. He said the leadership will be more connected. So Peter Safran and James Gunn. Ronnie Dodge, Peter Safran, that's it. I'm so shit with names. Hunter Icky, Movies TV Man. What are the 4 movies? Right, let me say them again. I'm not with it tonight, but let me say it again. So it's Shazam! Fury of the Gods, the Flash movie, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. They're the movies. You should know this anyway because they're built to be coming out. He's just confirming them and saying at this moment in time, there's no changes. There's no release date changes. There's no schedule changes. It's still happening as advertised. So 4 DC movies next year. He also said a more connected leadership. What does he mean? Creatively more connected. What does he mean by that? He means, for example, no communication for Shazam! Fury of the Gods and Black Adam. It seems like Black Adam has got some kind of issue with Shazam. Yeah, even though he's a fictional character. Anyway, so no communication between those 2 productions is a dumb idea. So what Zaslav is saying is that the left hand will know what the right hand's doing. So that there's going to be more communication. You've got a leadership now, and hopefully that means a more connected universe as well. So that's pretty much what he said about DC. He also said he doesn't regret anything that he's cancelled or shelved. It wasn't good. It wasn't doing the business that they wanted. So he's pretty happy with the stuff that he's cancelled in terms of DCTV. And of course, he's talking about Batgirl as well. Ronnie Dodge, more connected universe. I feel David has told The Rock, you're not the boss, I am. Well, listen, he's not the boss. He's not the boss. David, Pam Adby, Mike DeLuca, James Gunn, Peter Safran, they're in charge of this situation. And so, as I say, I didn't think this investors call was going to throw up big news. I know a lot of people were hoping for that, but I just don't know if that's how big news is released via these things. So I'm not surprised. We know the same thing now as we did before, that these 4 movies are coming out, that it's going to be creatively more connected. You know, basically everyone's going to be a team sitting around a table. There's going to be a creative team. And hopefully that means the universe will be more connected, which I think it will, with James Gunn involved. But we're no closer to knowing what's going on. No mention of a Superman movie. There's reports coming out tonight about why Henry Cavill left The Witcher, and it was about, you know, a lack of creative control, a lack of how he feels not being faithful to the source material. Unfortunately, Henry Cavill can't be fully in charge of what happens with a Superman movie. You bring in Peter Jackson, you bring in Sam Raimi, they're going to want to adhere to Henry Cavill. They'll listen to him because he's a big name actor, and I'm sure they're going to want to, you know, be faithful to who Superman is. But no one can have an actor in their ear saying, "I want this, I want that." Could that be a problem going forward? I hope not. So yeah, no big news tonight from the investors call, but just clarification that Zaslav doesn't regret shelving the things that he did, that all the 4 movies that we knew were coming out are still coming out. So that's exciting for fans, knowing nothing's being delayed, nothing's being cancelled. So it's good to hear. It's good to hear that we get these movies next year and we see what happens. Lots of people looking forward, for example, to Shazam! Fury of the Gods and the Flash movie and Blue Beetle. And I'm especially looking forward to Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, because I think that's a gee-whiz movie, isn't it? Ronnie Dodge, okay, excited. Yes, very excited. I'm very excited to see next year's movies and to see what happens. But what really excites me is finding out what happens after these movies. I think that's the most exciting thing. And I think once we know that, and I'm assuming we're not going to know that until these movies have gone, or maybe next year at San Diego Comic-Con. As Ronnie just said there, Comic-Con will be interesting. Yeah, because I think that's where they're going. No more DC fandom. Some people hoping for an announcement tonight about a Warner Brothers Discovery fandom. Never going to happen. That was for the pandemic. It's done. We're focusing on meeting fans at comic conventions at San Diego next year. And I'm sure the slate will be announced there, or maybe before then. But I'm assuming they're going to be very traditional and come out and, you know, brag about what they've got to offer. Ronnie Dodge, SDCC is the place to be again. Yes, which is good because the pandemic took that away from us. And to be honest with you, they didn't really have much to say in the past 2 years. Anyway, John, Last of Us TV show is released on January the 15th on HBO Max and Now TV. And I have access to Now TV, John. So that's very exciting. So we may have to wait another 2 years for House of Dragons or whatever it is. But HBO have always got the next show. Also, apparently, HBO Max and Discovery Plus, not that any of you are going to be interested, the streaming service is going to merge. Both streaming services are going to merge together. And that's happening sooner, apparently, than they first thought. Ronnie Dodge, I feel we will get a Flash trailer next, as it will be 6 months until the movie comes out. I think it's funny, because Barbara Machete about 6 months ago said we were getting a trailer soon. Still no trailer. So, yes, Ronnie, we do need to see a full trailer of the Flash movie, because all we've seen is a little snippet at Fandom. It's time for them to reveal the trailer, and they need to put Ezra Miller, when it's time, in front of the cameras for the marketing. They cannot hide that dude. Simple as that. Ronnie Dodge, 2-minute trailer. Yeah, around that, we need something. We need the first full trailer because you want to sell that movie. Now, at the moment, I don't expect them to promote the movie. There's no need to. You know, we've got to start very soon, and it sounds crazy, but very soon we'll be starting with the Shazam, Fury of the Gods marketing. Then it will be the Flash movie marketing, which Ronnie's been talking about. Then the Blue Beetle marketing, and then Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And that's this year. But we still need to know. I don't think anything. I mean, what can we get in 2024? It can surely only be Joker. It can only be Joker in 2024 if they're keeping these 4 movies as it is. Because I thought maybe they delayed 2 till 2024 just to spread it out a bit. But Zaslav clearly just wants to be done with this stuff. So I can't see how you start. I mean, you could actually sanction movies to start being filmed next year, but it's unlikely. So at this moment in time, it looks like 4 DC movies next year, but only 1 in 2024. Then the Batman sequel in 2025. So it's going to be a bit bare in 2024. As I say, unless they quickly tell us they're going to start shooting like 2 or 3 movies in 2023, which I don't think they are. I mean, they're surely going to announce a Superman movie, but by the time that starts shooting, that'll be at the end of 2023. So what I'm saying to you is probably next year, I don't see Peacemaker 2 coming out next year because James isn't ready to do anything till May. So for me, it looks like so basically in 2024, it looks like you're going to have Joker and Peacemaker 2, and maybe he'll make another one. But that's what it looks like right now. So 2024 is going to be a little bit depressing, I'm afraid. But we've got a new leadership, and it's difficult. Ronnie Dodge, David did say Joker is filming next month. That's correct. So Joker's coming in 2024, Ronnie, and probably Peacemaker 2, but that's it. There's nothing else. It's very bare for DC. That's a shame. It's not this leadership's fault, though, because they've only just come in. They can't just sanction 4 movies just like that. So it's just weird that we're going to have 4 movies next year. And you know, I mean, but also, kind of interestingly, I'm assuming we'll get the Penguin and Arkham in 2024 as well. So we'll have some stuff on HBO Max, but it will just be Joker in movie theaters. John, could they release a Green Lantern movie or TV show in 2024? Maybe, yes, maybe that's a reality. Look, they're redeveloping the original Green Lantern show into a Jon Stewart show. Personally, I think they should focus Green Lantern for movies releases. There's so much potential there. I've said this, I bored you guys about this. This is Star Wars in the DC universe. This could be huge. And just leaving it on HBO Max as a TV show is somewhat disappointing, but we'll see what happens there. Ronnie Judge, David said he spoke to James and Peter over the last couple of months, and the pair, it's a passion project. Yes, that's it too. Yeah, that is very, very true, Ronnie. Of course, it's a passion I mean, look, James Gunn, he loves Looney Tunes, he loves Scooby, he loves DC, he loves Marvel. He's doing what he loves. It must be sensational. And so Peter Safran's the same. So that's very exciting. But we're not going to get the fruition of that for a while. But that can't be helped. It can't be helped that 2024 is going to be bare. But hopefully 2025 is the year where we get another 4 movies. So next year will be a bit bare, although in 2020, no, next year won't be bare. 2024 will be bare. But if we get Peacemaker 2, Penguin, and Arkham all in 2024, and Joker through the movie system, the theatrical system, then that's not so bad, is it? But it's just a shame. But that's the way things have turned out. Isaac Cruz Pineda, the Batman 2, I need it, Mick. 2025, it's looking at like Isaac, but you will, I think in 2024, maybe one of the projects at the end of 2023, maybe. Penguin probably, maybe the end of 2023, we'll see, and then another one in 2024, or maybe both those projects in 2024, and then the Batman 2 in 2025. So yeah, it's patience now to, these slates, these projects that James and Peter are going to green light. They have to start making them. They have to be written, and slowly but surely we'll get there. But patience is needed. Isaac Cruz Pineda, I came in a little late, my news today, Mick, DC-wise. There's been an investors call for Warner Brothers Discovery where David Zaslav has spoken out and said the 4 DC movies that were originally going to be released next year are still going to be released at the same dates. That's very good news. He's looking for James and Peter to have a more, a connected creative arm. So the left hand's talking to the right hand. So there's communication, and hopefully that also means a more connected universe. Ronnie Dodge, David just said we haven't had Superman movie for nearly 10 years. So thank you for that. Thank you for that notification. Sorry about that, Ronnie. Where were we? Ronnie Dodge, David just said we haven't had a Superman movie for nearly 10 years. So need to move forward with that. So that's very exciting news. So David Zaslav, maybe the investors call is still going on. I wanted to come in after it, so I had all my information. But this is good stuff. I was hoping you'd be on, Ronnie, so you can keep me updated. So keep me updated, please, Ronnie, because my phone's off. It's not very reliable. I've got no other form of internet apart from the laptop I'm talking to you on. So keep me updated, Ronnie, with any information. So thank you for that. David Zaslav wants to move forward with a Superman movie as soon as possible. And it's clear in terms of the movies, in terms of live action, in terms of the comics, he wants Superman front and center. And as a pure Superman fan here, I couldn't be more excited. So that's great that he said that. That's great that he's come out and he said, we haven't had a Superman movie for 10 years, God damn it. And we need to move forward with that as soon as possible. So that's exciting. That's a huge hint that we're getting a Superman movie. But who's going to direct it? Who's going to write it? What's it going to be about? Nobody outside of Warner Brothers Discovery and DC Studios has a freaking clue yet. And I can't wait to find out. Isaac Cruz. Mick, how high are the chances that the Batman gets integrated into the new DC universe? Anything's possible in this world, and especially in the entertainment industry and in Hollywood. I'm sure they'll be thinking about that. It could change. That's something that could happen after Flashpoint, of course. So I would say it's not going to definitely happen, but I'm not going to dismiss it and say it can't happen. Ronnie Dodge, apparently they want to do more Harry Potter with JK. Yes, I already know that, and he said before he wants to talk to JK Rowling as well. But that's exciting for Harry Potter fans because, there's another IP there. They've come in, took over this company. It's on the verge of bankruptcy. They're looking to, get back $3.5 billion. So more cuts have been announced in this investors call as well. So I'm not surprised about that, Ronnie. I'm more than fine with that. I can separate Joe's opinions about her political opinions about what, and her being the creator of Harry Potter. That's what I care about. Entertainment, movies, TV, and whatever she says on Twitter, she's free to do so. And for the people who that affects and upsets, they can deal with her, in a constructive way. So that's exciting as well. But yes, I'm very, very happy that he wants to get moving on a Superman movie. And that's great news. John, could they market the Flash movie without Miller? Well, they could market the Flash movie without Miller. I don't think it's a good idea. It's not a good idea. He's in every fucking scene in this movie just about. You can't do that. He has to be part of the marketing. He has to. It would be an absolute disaster if he wasn't part of the marketing. And if they do that and the movie fails, then, people analysing it are going to say it's because you didn't use Ezra. But then again, if they use Ezra, people are going to say it was because you used Ezra. But he's the star of this movie. It is unavoidable. So, yeah. But these movies are coming out. we're going to get a Superman movie. I mean, David Zaslav has said as much. I'm really happy that he mentioned that. That's really, really good news that they want to get moving on that as well. And we'll see what the plan is for that. Who's going to be running that? Who makes the decisions on this? David Zaslav, James Gunn, Peter Safran. It's going to be interesting because this is such a huge situation. Zaslav may be holding the reins of the Superman movie. Ronnie George, no news, no new news at the moment. Yeah, it looks like, Ronnie, this investors call isn't going to throw out really big news. It's more confirmation. We knew that they want to do a Superman movie. We knew 4 movies were coming out next year. They've confirmed they're still coming out next year. They want it to be creatively more connected. Yeah, so there's nothing big to report, but keep an eye on it. But yeah, I don't think there's really anything substantial out there. But with DC fans, any information they get really excited about it. It's all later, and it's a thing. But at the end of the day, nothing has been announced that we didn't know was happening already. We certainly knew they wanted to do a Superman movie. Henry's pretty much said as much. He said he can't divulge any information about the title of the film, who's going to be in it, who's going to be writing it, who's going to be directing it. Henry said he wants to be a good partner, and quite right too. So he can't leak out information. But it is exciting. It is exciting to, when I think, who's going to direct this film? Who's going to write this film? What's it going to be about? For me, my mind's going overtime, and I have no idea who's going to be running this film, who's going to be directing this film. This is a pressure cooker. Making a Superman film, make no mistake, is a pressure cooker. It was the first DC movie ever made. It was the first superhero comic book blockbuster ever made, Superman the movie. The first comic book superhero. There is a lot of pressure with this character. This is not Black Adam. This is not Shazam. This is Superman. And Superman matters more than the others because he is, he is so much more than any other character in fiction. He's a majestic character. He's a pure character. So, yeah, they're really going to sit down and think about what they're going to do here. And they don't want to make mistakes with this. So you want the right person. You don't want to make the same mistakes they've made with Superman Returns, which I quite like. Wrong director. Man of Steel is a really, really good Superman film, but not for everyone. Snyder photographed a beautiful movie. But the question is, was he the right person to lead that movie? But then you could ask the question, was Nolan and Goyer the right people to write that movie? So that's interesting. Ronnie George, I'm excited what James and Peter do with Henry's Superman. It's going to be exciting. Yeah, as I say, I don't know who really is going to rule the roost. What decisions will be made. I mean, the next thing I want to hear is who's directing this thing. And I think then I can kind of decide in my head if this is going to work or not, depending on the director, of course, because the director is very, very important, isn't it? It's the most important key element. You've got a Superman there. You've got a Lois Lane there. So you've got a Perry White there. They're pretty lucky to have Morpheus as fucking Perry White. You can't get better than that, can you? Will Jenny Olsen return? Will Mike Kelly return? I really like that character in Man of Steel that Mike played. I hope he comes back because he wasn't in BVS. John, they could always market The Flash with Michael Keaton and Sasha Calle. Yes, John, they can do that. But Ezra Miller is the star of this film. He's in every scene, my friend. You can't ignore that. You can't have a Flash movie without the guy playing the Flash being part of the marketing. So they can do that. There's plenty of people they can use. They can use Gal Gadot. They can use Jason Momoa, etc., etc., etc. They're all going to be in the movie. But at the end of the day, it's not their film. It's the Flash's film. Ezra Miller. This film stars Ezra Miller. So whatever the circumstances, he's going to have to be front and center of the marketing. So is Andy Muschietti. So is Barbara. They're going to be the ones doing all the talking, which is extremely exciting. But you can't hide your star, no matter who he is, That's just the way it is, I'm afraid. And I don't think he hurts the movie, by the way. I think now he's taken a step back and he's apologized and he's apparently getting help. You know, these are good things. And in the public's eyes, or most of the, I mean, people who are not on Twitter and who don't watch YouTube channels like this don't even know about the controversy. So it's not really going to matter to the mainstream audience anyway. I think it's important they do use him in the marketing personally. You can't hide him. They made the decision to stick with this movie, not to replace him in this movie, not to start again, not to shelve the movie as they did Batgirl. That's because they feel this movie can make big bucks. Otherwise, it will be on the same shelf or in the same fireplace as Batgirl, because Zaslav didn't feel, as he said it in the investors' call, that this film and all the stuff he's cancelled in terms of TV shows and the Batgirl film, that they weren't going to make them anything. They didn't hold an advantage to them. So this is, and they're looking for tax write-offs galore. So this is why they're cancelling shows, etc., etc., etc. They're business decisions. These are business decisions at the end of the day. He wants to trim the fat. I think he's coming to Warner Brothers and saying many employees have got jobs, positions, and they're not needed. John, what happens if the Flash flops? Nothing happens. Nothing happens. That's the beauty of it, John, because these are Hamada movies. They're not part of the plan. You know, James Gunn, and I know Peter Safran is producing some of them, but, you know, this isn't part of the future vision. So it doesn't really matter. Of course, the studio want to make money. Of course they do. Money's been invested in making these films, of course. But in terms of it flopping, in terms of the future of DC, it makes no difference. But yeah, they want to make money. I don't think this film's going to flop. By the way, I think people are going to be very impressed by this film, because I was very impressed in the test screening, the earlier test screening, and it's had many changes since then. So even I don't know what this film's going to be now. But my reaction to it was, wow, I have an issue with the Supergirl replacing Superman thing, but it's a very impressive film. And the cameos and what they do in it, you know, you as a nerd is going to love this film. So this film's not going to flop. I don't think any of these films are going to flop. Black Adam isn't to flop. It just never was going to make anything more really than Shazam, because they're not hardcore characters. You know, this is not Batman, you know, so at the end of the day. Now, if James Gunn made a Black Adam movie, I think it will be a better film. This is what he did with Peacemaker. Who knew Peacemaker before Gunn got his hands on him? Look at him now. People can't stop talking about him. James Gunn is good at these things. But Black Adam is a solid movie, and it's entertaining. And ultimately, the only important thing about it at the end of the day that we're all going to remember is the Superman cameo. So, yeah, I don't think any of these movies are going to flop. I don't expect them to flop. I also don't expect them to make, you know, $2 billion a picture. Now, I think the movie that has the potential of that is The Flash, and maybe Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I think the Shazam Fury of the Gods movie will have the same earning potential as the first movie and as Black Adam, but who knows? Because people's families really did enjoy the first movie, but it didn't make a great deal of money, but it didn't cost that much to make, so it wasn't a big deal. But the focus really in terms of these films coming out is great, but in terms of the future of the franchise, ultimately, I don't think these films matter a great deal. And I definitely think they're looking to create some kind of new timeline, some kind of new footprint. At this moment in time, we don't know what James and Peter are planning. The only thing I know for sure, and Zaslav pretty much confirmed it, the first film that will be green-lit, the first project, will be a Superman movie, and that's for sure. So the sooner we know what it's called, who's going to be in it, and what timeline it's going to be in, and who's going to write it and direct it, the sooner the better. Do I think they know these things? Yes, pretty much. I think they have a pretty good idea, I think, but who knows? It's a very interesting situation with Cavill kind of being foisted on them because he's the Superman it looks like they are going with. So, Yes, a very uncertain future, and I couldn't be more excited about it. But yeah, don't ask me what they're planning because I don't have a clue. It makes me even more hyped because I usually do know what's going to happen, but I have no idea if they're going to go left or right. I don't know what direction this is going to be in. So that's so awesome not to know. It's good not to know. Ronnie Dodge, that's it for news, I think. Yeah. I did warn you all not to get your hopes up. I did say that not much would come out of this, and mostly they would just reconfirm what we already knew. 4 movies next year. We want to get a Superman movie done. We already knew that. He's confident about Peter and James. Well, of course, he would have to be because he's given them this position as co-chairs of DC Studios. So, why wouldn't he be confident about them? And of course, they want a more unified studios. They want the left hand talking to the right hand, and they don't want any lack of communication like what's happened in the past. The civil war between WB Pictures and AT&T wasn't a good look. They sorted that out now. It's a new leadership. It's a new era, and I couldn't be more excited. And I know that you guys are really excited, and you have every reason to be excited for DC movies next year. That's exciting. And then we wait and see what these plans are, what they're looking to do next. So, yeah, I'm hyped. I'm hyped, everyone. I think it's great. But I want to know what you think. What are you thinking tonight? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think the plan is? What are you confused about it? What are you confused about? Are you happy with James Gunn and Peter Safran? Do you think they could have done better and brought other people in to lead DC Studios? Let me know. John, I think they will have a lot. I think they will have a lot of DC announcements at next year's Comic-Con. Yeah, they'll be ready to go. I think, give them a year or just under a year. Get to next summer. They'll have a slate of quite a few movies. It will be interesting. And I'm sure rumors will leak out before then anyway, knowing how this environment is. But yeah, got to give them a chance to get a slate together. Rome wasn't built in a day. We're going to have to be patient. We're going to have to accept one Joker movie out next year because it's not possible to throw 4 movies, and just throw it at the wall and see what sticks. Got to be patient. This is a new era. About time too. DC Studios, competent leadership at WB Pictures, at DC Studios, and the CEO. There's no one more competent. There's no one I want more than David Zaslav here because the guy doesn't take any shit. And he's a straight talker. As we find out from these investors' calls, he doesn't, he doesn't and ah, he doesn't stutter. He tells you, these projects we've shelved weren't going to do any dough, so we shelved them. End of story. So yeah, next year will be the year we find out more, but I think we will find out more about the Superman movie sooner than that. They're not going to wait till Comic-Con 2023 to tell us about Superman because they know everyone's eager, everyone's brimming and bursting with anticipation. It is Superman. It is exciting. Cavill is back. Superman's going to be back. In what form? I don't know. I did do a video talking about Bloodsport shooting Superman with the kryptonite bullet and me thinking maybe Warner ordered the hit as well. So check out that video. So at least we know the 4 movies are coming out. At least we know that's not going to change. We know that they're working hard to create something here. And obviously, with James still working at Marvel at the moment, we're going to have to wait till May till he's all in. But of course, he's still going to be Zooming with Peter Safran. They'll make some decisions, and we will get announcement on a Superman movie sooner rather than later. John, are you going to buy the Superman movies in 4K? I do have Superman the movie in 4K. Now, I would like to have those movies in 4K. I would like them to re-release the anthology. Quite a few years ago, I think for the 50th anniversary, they did release an anthology, which I've got. and it was the year they were going to release, when they released Superman Returns on Blu-ray. And so they had this anthology with every Superman movie. This was prior to Man of Steel, but they had so many documentaries. Look Up in the Sky, the documentary about, Dick Donner's Superman movie. There's so many documentaries, The Science of Superman, which I watch all the time. It's all on now on this anthology, which I've got, and a lot of Superman fans have got. It would be great if we get the anthology re-released in 4K. So certainly I do want to own those movies in 4K. After all, it's Superman, but unfortunately we're not going to get Superman Returns in 4K, which is a shame. And that's the most recent one. It is not available, as far as I know, in 4K. John, I'm definitely going to buy Superman 2 and 3 in 4K next year. Yes, so will I. Early next year, they will be released. Very exciting news. As we can see, Warner Brothers Discovery aren't going to leave a stone unturned. They want to make money because, this is a financially starved studio at the moment. And Superman is one of their big things, of course. I'll give you another 5 minutes, should I say? I don't know why I said 4 minutes. I'll give you another 5 minutes to get your comments down. Then we'll call it a night. I'll be back tomorrow morning, of course, with the DC Universe Daily Live. And we'll update all of this, what's happened tonight. We'll talk about what happens next. And we'll get into that. There'll be a pre-recorded video after the DC Universe Daily tomorrow, as per usual. And then I'll be here a little bit earlier, probably a lot earlier tomorrow, for the night live video. It's been a big couple of weeks for DC fans. It's been an amazing couple of weeks for DC fans. And I'm enjoying all the information. I'm enjoying the fact that we know there's a DC Studios for sure, that we have 2 co-chairs that we can trust, and that company, in terms of WB, and now got, right people sitting in the right chairs, if you like. So that's exciting. So, yeah, John, the Smallville Blu-ray box set is really hard to find. Oh, John, I'm so fucking pissed off, mate. As usual, the Americans get everything, and us lot abroad in the UK and the rest of Europe get jack shit. It's like the HBO Max situation. It is disgusting. It's on Amazon, but you have to pay extra to get it over. And it's not, look, honestly, I can't fucking get it. And it's annoying. It's upsetting. Now, I've got a DVD box set. It's fine, but the Blu-ray box set has got lots of documentaries and shit and stuff like that. It's a good collector's edition. And it's absolutely disgusting that it's not available globally. And this is something else Warner Brothers need to sort their shit out on, right? Because they're inconsistent. It was good that we got to see a streaming show like Peacemaker available to us on physical media, and I ordered it straight away and I've got it, thankfully. But then when it comes to Smallville, the greatest DC show ever made, and not available to a global audience, a global consumer, no wonder they're in fucking debt, right? So yeah, very frustrating, Joe. I feel your pain and I feel the frustration because I wanted that. They tell you this is coming out. But of course, when they say that, they mean it's coming out in a fucking America, because it's all about America, isn't it? All the time. And it just annoys me. Sorry, Americans, if you're watching, don't get offended. I just get annoyed at the end of the day because I don't live in America. And I want the goodies that you get. And as a DC fan and a Superman fan, that's right. It's like the Doctor Who deal with Disney Plus. They're saying they've done this deal so international audiences can watch it. But Disney Plus isn't available to everyone around the world. But Netflix is pretty much available to most countries. But Netflix clearly didn't offer them the money they wanted. So, yeah, it's not fair. People away from America, and like I'm away from the UK, get stitched. I used to be able to watch Prime Video over here. Since Brexit, I haven't got availability for Prime Video. It's simply not fair. I know I'm repeating myself from this morning. John, you started me off. But yeah, it does piss me off. I'm lucky I'm able to get the stuff that I can. But I've already pre-ordered Black Adam on 4K and Blu-ray, so I'm excited to get that in the new year. Always have to build up my well, at the moment it's a DCEU collection. Of course, very soon it'll be a DCU collection. John, I'm glad they have released The Last of Us on Now TV in the UK. Yeah. Now, Sky have got an exclusive deal, I don't know if you know this, with HBO. So that's why House of Dragons is on Sky TV and on Now TV, because of that deal. And this is the reason HBO Max is not available in the UK. And we have to pretty much wait for that deal to be over. But HBO Max may never be available in the UK. And that's simply not fair. Because, you know, these IP companies now, whatever you call them, these DNS companies, whatever you call them, who help you, get these streaming services are not reliable, because the streaming services, the companies now have got better security. But I'm glad that that's going to be out on Now TV, because I can consume it. But I'm not even supposed to have Now TV over here. Whoops. Before Brexit, I could roam on Now TV. And all I had to do when I wanted to keep on roaming is get my brother in the UK just to watch it for 5 seconds, and then it would start the roaming. But since Brexit, all that has changed. And that is not fair. They didn't tell you that, did they, when they were campaigning for Brexit? Oh, by the way, you won't be able to watch Now TV in Cyprus, or you won't be able to watch Prime Video in Cyprus. They don't tell you that shit, do they? I'm a nerd, man. I want to get what you lot get. I mean, I've got a YouTube channel. I need to be talking about this shit. It's like when Peacemaker came out. I couldn't watch Peacemaker. I couldn't talk about Peacemaker on this channel. That ain't fair. How can I proceed? How can I be a YouTuber that talks about DC TV and movies if it's not all available to me? That simply isn't fair, is it? So yes, but I am glad about that, John, for sure. I'll hang on here for another 2 or 3 minutes, just in case. Normally, if I started earlier and we had more views, it's my fault. This is why we haven't got more people on tonight, because I came on too late. I mean, it's probably about midnight here in Cyprus now. Normally, I would come on here after my dinner, but I wanted to have all the information about the investors call. And because my phone has to be switched off because I can't charge it properly, it's difficult for me to be on here and check out information on Twitter. So, yeah, I wanted all my information before I came on. But I think we've been okay. We've had a nice little chat. We spoke to Ronnie. We've spoken to John. We've spoken to a couple of, we've spoken to Mr. Pineda, is it? We've spoken to a few other people. So I think we've had a nice little neat chat tonight. So it's okay. The job is done. But, yeah, I wanted to know, because you lot were saying to me, this investors call is going to tell us this and that. And I said to you, don't get your hopes up. And I was right yet again. Nobody ever believes me. That's the thing. Nobody fucking believes me about anything. I told you that after Guardians 3, James Gunn would never work with Disney again. And he'd come over to DC. What happened? I told you that over a year ago. It happened. It was obvious he wasn't going to continue working with them. He likes fake, he likes Marvel, but he don't like Disney because Disney fired him. And Warner Brothers, it was great that Warner Brothers approached him. That bad leadership actually had the idea to bring him on, which is amazing, really. John, just sent you a like before you go. Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you very much, John. I appreciate that. 7 likes, 5 viewers. That's not a bad ratio, is it? Yeah, we're not a big YouTube channel here. And any likes we get, any views we get, and any interactions we get on here, I'm very, very grateful for. It isn't a big channel. It isn't going to be a big channel, and that's okay. Because I'm here because I want to commune with other nerds, and that's what it's all about. I love the sound. I do like the sound of my own voice. I'm a vain bastard. You should see me when I'm getting ready with my shave. I'm putting the old Niffy gel on my face, So I'm a vain bastard as well. So I'm here for vanity. I'm here to talk about the shit that I love as well. so it's cool. We don't have to be successful. Mostly people with a YouTube channel of my kind of small size don't do live videos, because normally people do live videos when they're monetized and they can have super chats. I'm not monetized. I can't get super chats, but that's good for you lot, because you can talk to someone who knows their stuff without having to pay for it. And, you know, because there's not many of you here, you get instant answers. So it's pretty cool. So it's a close-knit community. You know, there's one or two little a-holes who come on here trying to cause trouble. But apart from that, I think it's a very, very good community. And I'm very, very proud what we're building up here. And I'm very proud that I'm giving you, you know, 2 live videos a day, a pre-recorded video or 2 a day. And this is what I'm looking to do going forward. Because the reason the content is more now is because Henry's come out and said he's Superman again. Because we've got a DC Studios co-chairs. Because it's all happening. And so 1 video a day just isn't going to cut it, because fans are excited. They want discussions. I want discussions. There's things in my mind about what I think is going to happen, my theories, my predictions. And so I'm very excited. So I want to produce as much content as possible. And, you know, experienced people always say to me, don't produce so much content. But I can't help it. When I'm buzzing, right? So, yes, so thank you for the likes, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, all 7 of you. I've enjoyed coming in very quickly, very briefly, a bit later than usual. But we will be back to normal tomorrow. So please keep faith in the channel. Please follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. As you can see, if you follow me on Twitter, you get all the breaking news, all the old interviews, all the movie stuff that you want to see. And that's why I'm retweeting on there all day, because after all, I am Movies TV Mad. But what are my ambitions for the YouTube side of Movies TV Mad? Eventually, I want to bring 2 or 3 more presenters on. I want people to present shows on my channel, as well as me doing all of this. I want people to do offshoot videos about older movies and talk about older movies and older TV shows and stuff like that. So I am looking to expand the channel, but it's not something I'm going to do straight away. But I want to give you an idea of my ambitions for this channel, because we are called Movies TV Mad after all. And I want you to be able to come in and people to talk about maybe the series, or, you know, the Fugitive movie, or, you know, Gone with the Wind, or whatever. I want us to have a varied channel. But that doesn't mean I'm not still going to come in 2 or 3 times a day myself and talk about DC and the stuff that I talk about. It's just about having a variety. I want to create a platform that shows that I'm genuinely mad about movies and TV. Because guess what? I am genuinely mad about movies and TV. It literally is something that I fell in love with as a small boy from the moment I saw Star Wars: A New Hope, Superman the movie, Live and Let Die, Batman 66 the movie. These are the first 4 things I ever saw. And they captured my young imagination in the 18. Knight Rider, Airwolf, Street Hawk. I was like this as a kid, always watching TV, always fascinated. And then as I got older and started work, I used to record my voice and record my own soap dramas. There was Bromley Common. There was Cyprus. There was one called Cyprus, where I was inspired by the El Dorado soap as well. So, yeah, I really am passionate about stories, live action stories, predominantly about DC. But there's a lot of things I love. There's a lot of things I haven't spoken about that I love. And I really want that to be displayed on this channel. So this can be a place for all geeks and all nerds. And maybe one day even do a soap watch where we even talk about the UK soaps, the Aussie soaps. So I've got big plans for this channel. So this has been Movies TV Mad. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wife. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. I will see you tomorrow morning with the DC Universe Daily Live. And then another pre-recorded video just for you, so we can get on the personal level talking about this shit that we all love. And then I'll be back tomorrow night with the live chat. So tomorrow's another huge day for this channel. So until I see you again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.